Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittney Bundles, and today's video is going to be all about how to make more money and also save more money. I wanted to do this make more money and save more money video as one video instead of separate videos. One, because I do have tons of videos on this channel going over different tips as far as how to make additional income, revenue for your business, for your household, and also good strategies for saving money. However, with this video, I do want to give tips on both together combined. And one of the other reasons that I want to do that is because it's really important to not only focus on making money, but it's also important to focus on saving money. There's a lot of people that generate enough income. When I say enough income, I'm talking about they generate a lot of income to the point where they don't need to be struggling, to the point that their credit score could definitely be rebuilt or better than it is now. And it's spending habits. It's also lack of discipline, and sometimes it's just not knowing really where to start saving your money. So a lot of people constantly talk about making money. I'm one of those people. I do think that it's really important to make sure that you are looking at multiple streams and avenues of revenue and income to make sure that you're always as sufficient as you possibly can be, and that you're working toward financial freedom and also generational wealth. So what I'm going to be talking about today, like I mentioned, is how to make more money and also ways to save money. So let me go ahead and pull up my notes here. If you are interested in this video or videos like this, be sure to give the video a big thumbs up. It really lets me know what type of videos you all want to see from me. It kind of gives me an idea at least. Also leave any comments if you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see next. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. So without further ado, I'm going to get right into the video. So the first tip that I have as far as making more money is don't hoard. Now, I used to be a hoarder, I'm not gonna lie, and sometimes I catch myself still doing that. When I say hoarding, I'm referring to holding on to things that really aren't, I don't wanna say they don't have value, because a lot of things that I used to hoard, they had different sentimental value to me, but I was just collecting so much stuff and it began to be junk. Like it crossed over to the junk pile when I really wasn't taking care of it. It was just kind of tossed over. It was collecting dust. And then there were more items that were thrown into the pile, and it just started to become a lot of things that I was holding on to that I really shouldn't have. And I didn't notice how much I was hoarding really until it was time for me to move out of my home. And when it was time for me to move out of my home and sell my home, I looked at how much stuff I had. And I'm like, why do I have this stuff? Why did I hold on to all of this stuff? And I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't do that moving forward. So you may be wondering, well, what does hoarding have to do with making money? Well, what I like to do is I like to sell seasonally. So one of the places that I like to sell seasonally, and one of the, apps that I like to use is Poshmark. I've been using Poshmark for years, literally. And if I see something in the closet, for example, that I'm really not going to wear again, whether I can fit it or not, if I know I'm not going to wear it, but I just don't want to get rid of it because I liked it, or I don't want to get rid of it because I forgot where I purchased it and I may not be able to find it again. If it's something like that, I'm going to really weigh it, and I'm going to be like, Brittney, do you really need it? You know, you kind of need to clear out so that you can bring in new. And that's also a way to generate income. So a lot of people downplay Poshmark that I've been in communication and conversation with, saying, you know, hey, it really didn't work for me, or I really don't make too much off Poshmark, but I've had great success with Poshmark. Sometimes you do have to do different sales on your Poshmark account and also build up your reputation on Poshmark for you actually to see some success using that app. But I can definitely say that Poshmark, and I've mentioned this in some other videos, is a great app to use to kind of clear out some of the things that you're not using anymore and also generate revenue or income for you. Some people actually use Poshmark as their business. That is what they do. Some people even go to Goodwill or different thrift shops, and they find items and they resell it. So that can definitely be someone's additional stream or someone's way to make extra money while they're cleaning their space and making sure that they're not hoarding. Another place that I recently found that I really enjoy is Facebook Marketplace. I've never really browsed on Facebook Marketplace. I've never really posted anything on Facebook Marketplace until recently. And I was recommended to look on Facebook Marketplace by one of my friends. And when I posted one item on Facebook Marketplace, I got so many like DMs immediately. And I'm like, wow, this is faster than Poshmark. This is faster than Craigslist. This is faster than any other app that I've used or website. Facebook Marketplace is where it's at. So if you have items that you are wanting to sell, whether it be clothes, shoes, furniture, games, that is a great place to go to also clean out some of the things that you're no longer using and also make money. Another place that I would like to recommend is Plato's Closet. Now, I don't go to Plato's Closet as much as I used to, but Plato's Closet is also another reputable store that I have gone to that will take a look at your clothes or your bags or whatever you have, shoes, and see if it's something that aligns with what they're looking for at that particular moment, and then offer you cash on the spot for your items. It's not really on the spot exactly. Sometimes it's on the spot, but sometimes they'll ask you for like an hour to look over everything, depending on how many items you brought. And then when you come back, they'll have an offer for you. Most times, sometimes they won't take it at all, just depends. The second tip that I have is create a saving system. So like I mentioned, we want to have that balance between making money, but also saving money. And it's really important to have in your mind already how you're going to save, like how you're planning on saving before you even get money. Because a lot of times, if we don't have a plan before we make money, once we get money, we're not really thinking of creating that plan right there. And we're like, okay, we have money. What do I want to do? What do I want to buy? What did I want last week? So it's really important to make sure that we're thinking about how we're going to save money, how we're going to make sure we hold on to the income that we're going to receive before we receive it. So for me, I made a video on YouTube going over how I pay myself as an entrepreneur. And in that video, I went over percentages. So every time I make a sale or I have a certain amount of money that I want to make sure is divvied up correctly, what I'll do is I'll go to my percentages. I'll put a certain percentage back into my business, a certain percentage goes into my savings, a certain percentage goes into my spend money. And I do things like that to make sure that I am staying on top of everything. A certain percentage goes to paying off my debt. So I have everything sectioned in percentages so that I'm making sure that I'm constantly saving money. I'm not just making it and spending it, but I'm actually seeing how much I'm making and I'm accounting for it. So once I get my money, I'm not saying, okay, well, I have this much to spend. I'm saying I've gotten this much. This is how much needs to go into savings. This is how much needs to go to paying off debt. This is how much needs to go into my business again. And this is how much I have for spending. So I went into depth. I'm kind of just briefly going over the different sections that I divided my income up into. But it's more detailed and it's more even specific than that. So if you are interested in how I pay myself as an entrepreneur and those percentages, leave a comment down below and I'll link the video for you. And then I'll also have a video as to how you can divvy up your money for different positions or different portions of your business. So for marketing, for inventory and things like that. So it's really important that you create a saving system. If you're not an entrepreneur, let's say you're getting paid every 2 weeks, you still want the same mentality. Well, how am I going to start this business? Because there's a lot of people that work 9 to 5s and want to start a business and they're like, I don't have the income to do so right now. Well, let's change that. You know, if you have the income, what can we do to start knocking down some of your bills? What can we do to make sure that we're putting money aside so that we can fund your dreams? What can we do to make sure that we're creating this saving system before you even get paid? The third tip that I have is discipline. So all of your income should have like a saving strategy, like I just mentioned. Everything should be strategic. So you want to make sure that you are disciplined enough to not spend all of your money. You'd be amazed probably how many people I've been around that have gotten a sale through their website and a notification on their phone, or have gotten a paycheck and literally like in that same day, the whole check is gone. It's not gone toward paying bills. It's not gone towards saving or anything like that. It's not gone to investing, but it's gone just like on food. It's gone on different clothes. It's gone on different jewelry. And there's nothing wrong with treating yourself. I'm like the first person that will say, treat yourself. Like don't cheat yourself, treat yourself, you know, especially if you're working for something. You want to make sure that you are compensating yourself, you know, and that's going to look different for everybody. But I get myself things that I like. I enjoy getting my nails done. I enjoy different electronics, although I haven't bought myself any new electronics recently. Sometimes I enjoy looking at clothes. Sometimes I really don't. But, I just enjoy being able to have the flexibility and freedom to make money on the go. And I've made videos about that as well. But I also have to have enough discipline to not just spend the money that I'm making either. Not all of it, at least. I have to make sure that I'm saving some. And I have to make sure that I'm also building toward what I want, like my goals and my future. So one thing that I talked about earlier, or not on this channel or in this video, but one thing that I talked about with someone in conversation is I was mentioning how important it is for entrepreneurs to focus on their retirement. Because I think so often as an entrepreneur, that's something we don't think about. When you get a job, a lot of times we look and we make sure they have 401 benefits, or we make sure that they have, different retirement options. Are they matching the 401? Are they doing this? Or are they doing that? Do they have an IRA? What comes with this? What are the benefits with this job? But as an entrepreneur, that's one of the topics that aren't really, it's not talked about as heavily. So it's still important to make sure that you are saving for your retirement, that you are looking into different retirement options. And, because you don't want to get to the point where you're ready to stop working, even at your business. I mean, there comes a point where you may want to hire someone to run the operations for you. There comes a point where you may not want to work as hard, whether it's your business or not, as you're doing now. And so when that point does come, you want to be able to have the choice, the ability, the flexibility to say, hey, I'm okay if I don't work as hard. I'm okay if I hire someone else. I'm okay if I do this. I have enough income for this. So it's always important to have discipline and to think about the future, not just the right now, not just about what you want. And one thing that I keep in my mind is, Brittney, do you want it or did you earn it? And if it's not both, like, okay, I want it and I earned it, then I have enough discipline to say, okay, it's not time to get it for me right now. Everyone has their time of when they can go out and get what it is their heart desires. But if you want it, but you haven't earned it, that's a clear indicator that, okay, maybe it's not the time for me to go ahead and go splurging. And I had to kind of come up with that analogy because I would have people that ask me, how do I tell myself yes or no? Like, you say it's okay to spoil yourself. You have experience in the financial industry, and I trust your judgment, but then again, you say don't buy this. Everyone has a different budget, so everyone has to decide what's going to work best for them. But I can say just from experience that has helped me. I ask myself, do you really want it? Because sometimes you may want something and then you sleep on it or you think about it and you really don't want it. So that's why it's also important not to be impulsive all the time. Sometimes I'm an impulsive buyer, but I've learned over the years to not really do that because, like I said, I may want something today and not tomorrow, and I don't really want to waste my money on something I really don't want, truly. So I ask myself, do you want it still? And have you earned it? Have you saved enough money? Do you have money in your savings? Have you paid toward your debts? Have you paid toward your retirement plans? Have you invested back in your business? Do you have everything that you need in the home? Just things like that, making sure that I'm going through the responsible questions in my mind before I decide to go ahead and splurge on something. The fourth tip that I have is start saying no. So sometimes we find ourselves broke because we have a problem with saying no. You may have that one friend that constantly needs something as far as monetary value, and you don't really want to say no. I know I've been in that position where I've been around people that constantly need money, and you're like, I want to help this person. I don't want to say no. I care about this person. So here. And then you look over your finances and you're like, wow, I've given this person X amount of money this month. Wow, next month rolls around and you're like, I've given this person again X amount of money. Next month rolls around and you're like, again? So it comes a point where you may have to start saying no to make sure that you're being as financially responsible as you possibly can. And saying no doesn't mean that you're being mean. I had to learn that too. Honestly, it's really more helpful, in my opinion, to teach people how to make money than to constantly just give someone your money. Because a lot of times when you just give people your money, and I'm not saying if someone's in a down, like a hardship or a downtime and they need assistance, definitely help. We all need help at some point, if you can. But I'm saying when it becomes like a habit, and when it becomes routine, and when they're depending on your income, and you're like, man, like I don't feel like I can ever save or get myself to where I need to be because I'm always financing this person's lifestyle. So you want to make sure that you are practicing saying no. Sometimes your friends may ask you to go out every weekend. Not even sometimes. They may ask you every single weekend to go out or to do something that you're like, okay, I really don't want to spend money on this weekend. Don't feel afraid to say no. Just know that you have a plan and trust your plan and stick to it. My favorite saying is that first they ask why, and then they ask how. Then they ask how. That is so true. That's been so true in my life with so many things, with my business, with my choice, as far as, if I wanted to continue school or not. And again, I'm not telling, I say this because I want to make it clear, I'm not in any way, shape, or form wanting to discourage anyone from doing, going to school or doing a certain career, or even stopping your 9 to 5. Whatever works best for your life, do it. And that's what I had to do in my life. And I just learned, a lot of people won't get the full picture. So it's your responsibility to make sure that the picture comes together for your life. And something happened with the phone I was recording on, so I had to switch devices. So bear with me. I just have one more tip to go over. And this tip is evaluate monthly expenses at least every quarter. So what I mean by that is a lot of times we get so used to the bills that we're paying. We just pay our cable bill, we just pay the internet, we just pay Netflix, we just pay whatever, we pay our cell phone bill. And I got into like a habit of not even looking at my bills to see what I was being charged for. I would just pay it, and I've become a lot better with actually looking at the bills that I'm paying. And I noticed, for example, like on my cell phone account, there were different options, different plans that were under the unlimited tier. And I didn't know that I think I have like unlimited hotspot or something like that. I didn't know there was an option for a lower hotspot option, because I really don't use my hotspot as much as I used to use it. So I don't believe I need unlimited, although I probably won't change it just because the price difference really was very insignificant. It was like $5. Everything adds up, but for the extra $5, I'll keep unlimited. But that's just an example to say, or to show how, sometimes we don't know what we're paying for. You may have a cable plan that you've been paying for years, and you've really never noticed how many channels you have. You've really never watched any of the movie channels that you're paying for. You may have internet that you really don't, you don't need that speed. And so it's really important to make sure that you're going over your monthly expenses at least every quarter. How much are you spending on fast food? Going over, like I said, cell phone bills, cable bills, internet, even your car insurance. Just always making sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck is really, really important. So it takes a lot of intention and work to make sure that you are saving money as well as making money. It's all a strategy. People that you see that are well off, and I'm just speaking from experience working in the financial industry for years, typically have a good grasp on how to level that out, making money and also being responsible. And I used to wonder, why do they care about how much interest this loan is? Like, just take the loan. Of course, I knew why they cared, because, no one wants to pay more than they have to. But they would be really, really, a lot of times people that would apply for loans, and I could see that they were in a good position, credit-wise, had a good amount of money in their account. And I say good position financially. I don't know about their personal life or anything like that, but they would really be serious and a lot more concerned about how much interest they were going to be paying versus a lot of people that really didn't have too much money in their account and really didn't have a high credit score. So that showed me right there that a lot of times people that are more financially set are really strategic about how they spend and how they save. So I really hope that this video helped. If you have any additional questions, feel free to leave them down below. I do want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.